guys, I'm Charlie, a Charlie book fanatic, and if you think, wow, Charlie, you look like shit, that's because I feel like shit. The one time I have actual time to film, I have a hangover. I also want to say that I'm not going to have a strict uploading schedule anymore because honestly, I don't think I can stick to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film the videos I really want to film and upload them whenever. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a review of Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I read Me Before You back in January and I rated it 3 stars. Me Before You is about a woman who is, I think, in her late 20s and she still lives with her parents in their house that is too little for their family because she also lives with her sister and her child and her grandfather and obviously her 2 parents. And the main character has been looking for a job for months now because she has been let go from the cafe she had been working at for years. She gets this job opening for working with a quadriplegic man, and it is in her town, and she is like, what can go wrong? She doesn't have any experience as a caretaker, but she does go there to apply for the job, and she gets it. She gets the job even though she doesn't have any experience as a caretaker. But the mother of Will, who is the quadriplegic man Louisa, the main character, has to take care of, sees a joy in Louisa that she hasn't seen any of the other applicants for the job. So she gets it and she hopes that Louisa can make Will's life better and happier than it has been, since Will really can't do anything because he's paralyzed from the neck down and he doesn't know what to do with himself. He just sits at home, he doesn't want to do anything anymore, and he's just very unhappy in general. What I want to say first and foremost is that I thought this was a beautiful story and it hit me right in the feels. Like, I cried a lot, and I knew going into this that this book would definitely touch my heart and I would definitely cry because I have been sort of spoiled for the ending. Not really, but it was sort of implied that something would happen and I knew it would hurt me, and it did, and I'm glad it did. Moyes manages to make you care about these characters, like genuinely care for Louisa, and you see her private life and what goes on in it, and she also makes you care about Will and Louisa and Will together, and you are genuinely happy when they spend time together and when they grow closer over the months Louisa takes care of Will. And just the people surrounding Will as well, like his mother, his father, you see their private lives a little bit, and also Will's other caretaker who gives him his medicine. Louisa also has a boyfriend at the beginning of the book and for a good while throughout the book. He's called Patrick. She has been with him for years, but the relationship isn't as good as it used to be. And he was a person that really annoyed me because he was really into fitness and working out, and he wasn't always into that stuff, but he suddenly became interested in it and he's constantly training for this marathon he wants to run, I believe. Something like that. I really wasn't into it. I was so annoyed every single time Louisa spent time with him, and I was like, please, Patrick, when can you go away from this book? So those were the good things about this book. But obviously I wouldn't be making this review if there weren't some bad things as well. So let's talk about those. There were made some remarks in this book about Will and also about a woman of color in the book that I want to address and that I also rage tweeted about. So let's talk about these quotes. Don't worry, the spoiler-free quotes, but I do want to mention them and talk about them a little bit. So there was this one scene between Louisa and her boyfriend Patrick where they were arguing about Louisa taking care of Will, and Patrick continues on to call Will a cripple, and Louisa doesn't call him out on it while she was taking care of Will and becoming close to him. She didn't call Patrick out on it and then continued to have sex with Patrick to get it over with. Then there was also this line in the book that goes like, some days I felt crippled by my own inability to think of new ideas. Do you really need to use the word crippled in this way? Like, I don't think she really feels crippled in comparison to Will, who is in a wheelchair and can't move his body. And then there was this line where Louisa was thinking about Will, and she's thinking like, he's too good for this silly caramel woman. I can't even. Why was her skin tone described as caramel, and why was it even necessary to mention his skin color in this sentence? Like, what the hell? Then there was also this line where Louisa looks at two people dancing on the dance floor, and the line goes, "We saw Rupert wheel Alicia around the floor." I can't. Alicia wasn't in a wheelchair, by the way. It was just used as a word to describe them dancing around the room. Why was the word wheel used? Why? Why do you use the word wheel in a book about a guy in a wheelchair? It just feels so rude. Then there was also the character of Louisa's father, and he was supposed to be this guy that made fun of Louisa, but it was all in good fun. Throughout the book, the only thing he did was being an absolute savage towards Louisa. He was always making fun of her, and if I had been Louisa, I would not have accepted that. I think at one point I would have just exploded and said, "You are going to be respectful towards me, going to stop making a joke out of me." I also hated Louisa at one specific part in the story, and that was when she complained about the tiny bedroom she was in. She felt like she deserved a bigger bedroom because she was the moneymaker in the house right now. She also had her parents in the house and her sister who had a child. So eventually when her sister went out to go somewhere, I can't say where because spoilers, but she goes somewhere with her child and Louisa wants her sister's bedroom. Okay, I get that. So she takes her sister's bedroom. Eventually, her sister comes back to stay with them, and then Louisa starts to complain because her sister wants her bedroom back for the moment because she has a child. The tiny bedroom is too little for her and her baby. So Louisa gets all fussy, and eventually her sister gets her bedroom back. But Louisa takes her parents' bedroom, and her parents have to fucking sleep on the living room floor. Just go fucking lie in your tiny bedroom. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would you let your parents sleep on the living room floor? I don't know anyone who would do that. Aside from all of the negatives, I obviously already mentioned the positives. This book was written very simple, was easy to get through. I did enjoy the book, but obviously it has some flaws that really turned me off of it. So would I recommend this book? I would recommend this book because it did have an emotional impact on me and I really enjoyed reading it. But I would advise you to open up your eyes and go into this with an open mind and actually see what is wrong with it as well, because it definitely has some problems with it and some people decide to not see it, and that is very harmful towards people of color and also towards disabled people. Second question, would I read any other books by Jojo Moyes? I would, based on this book, but I've seen the premises of all of her other books and there wasn't anything that really jumped out at me. So at this point, I wouldn't pick up any of her other books. But if she came out with another book that sounds interesting to me, I would pick it up. So this is my review of Me Before You. If you have read this book, let me know down below what you thought about it. Obviously spoiler free. And if you haven't read it, then let me know what you thought of this review. And if you want to pick it up or not based on this review, I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!